playing with time in your self-concept, I wanted to share with you the components. Hey guys, Matt Tait here from Fork in the Road, your channel for transformation. And today I'm continuing on my book series of Transforming Yourself by Andreas, Becoming Who You Want to Be. Andreas, one of the originators of NLP, one of the early developers, and him and his wife Connie Ray. And I love his videos on YouTube, I love his content, I love his books. And so I wanted to unpack the self-concept model that comes from this book. And where the self-concept model is basically the clues as to your identity and how to shift it. Why do we care about identity? Because if you shift your identity, all of your actions will automatically align with that. So if you're looking for fast transformation, shifting in the identity space is automatic pilot type situation where you will change. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, we've got to be careful with it, of course, and we have to make sure we're doing something that's ecological, that works in with our whole life, because you could shift an identity and then you could start impacting your family. So we've got to understand the whole ecology of the system. But what this does is it gives you opportunity to strengthen good things and to maybe weaken bad things that are not serving you. And that's what I love helping my clients with. Now, we've been through the process elements of what is a self-concept. It's a bunch of qualities that make up you. And inside those qualities, there are experiences that you've had that you can remember in your nervous system. And you have it stored in there. It's called your database. And your database is holding on to certain information. And you are spitting out the results automatically through your identity, through your self-concept, on the concept of who you think you are, which is a massive generalization of your experiences, massive generalization on who you think you are. You've deleted a lot of information, but it's all sitting in there in the database. One of the small components which I mentioned earlier was about time. And so I've got my notes just down here. And the time is really a massive piece. So you're playing with time in your self-concept. I wanted to share with you the components that Andreas suggests to his participants, because it's based on a workshop and he takes them through some exercises. So here's the time exercise. So as you look at a quality in yourself, and I think about my quality I'm going through at the moment, and that is that I am loving understanding others. I love understanding others when I'm coaching. And then I love understanding others as I'm observing people on the street. And as a result, I'm learning to understand myself, right? So what I love. Understand why certain things automatically come out of me. And then if they're serving me, great. If they're not, how do I shift those things? And I think another example is I'm looking to lose some weight in this new year. It's now 2022, just turned, it's like the 2nd of January today. And so, I want my self-concept to be I am lean and I am trim, or I am a person who exercises regularly, I'm someone who looks after myself, right? So I want those automatic pilot actions to come out of me, right? So think about it for yourself. What would be a quality that you would love to shift in yourself? If there's something you're not happy with, what would be the quality that would serve you? See, we need a motivation to understand this information. Otherwise, it's just a video. But if you have a quality, you think that quality will change my life, you will be keen to learn more, won't you? I know I certainly was. So here are the elements of time in your self-concept. Now, I have a lot of examples, hundreds of examples of helping clients in sessions, right? I'm helping them as a coach, as a life coach, as an NLP practitioner, master level. I'm training people in this new year in NLP, meaning I'm teaching them practitioner, right? So I'm going a long way down these rabbit holes with lots of experiences where I'm helping other people and I'm understanding others through these models. And here are the elements of playing with time. Now I've got the examples, I've got hundreds of them. You'll have examples for yours. And so here are the elements: past, present, or future. Distribution of time, chunk size of time, and spreading of time. Now, what am I talking about? Well, as you go into your examples of your memories, of the history, of your experiences, you can start to unfold, well, how long was this all going on for? When was it happening? The time component. And so what I wrote down is, when I explore things like am looking to understand another person, I said to myself, well, I think about my clients first of all. And in my clients, might be an hour to an hour and a half session. So I call it 90 minutes. So for 90 minutes, I'm seeking to understand others. But then I broke it down even more, and I said, well, when's this happen in my history? Well, a week ago, I had a client, before the Christmas break, and then the week before that, I had like 4 or 5, 6, and the week before that, I might have had 10 clients, So there's lots of examples going back all the way through 2022, depending on the week and what's happening. And so all through 2021 and beyond that. So I've got lots of examples in my database across time in the past. And then I explored chunk size. And so, well, I thought, it's an hour and a half, but it's actually not an hour and a half. It's probably the first 20 or 30 minutes where I'm sitting there and I'm listening intently. So call it 30 minutes in an hour and a half session. And I'm gathering information, I'm listening, I am keen to hear more, I am definitely seeking to understand. And so that is the chunk of time. But then there might be 5 or 10 minutes where I might say some things and give ideas. And then there might be another 5 or 10 minutes I've written down on my notes where I'm seeking to understand more. And I'm going through a cycle. This is where I'm unpacking that memory and I'm realizing the chunks of time where I'm displaying that quality of wanting to understand my client, right? And so I repeat that process, that cycle of seeking to understand, saying some more words myself, getting clear, seeking to understand some more as I get clearer and clearer and clearer about my client until I've got something where I can definitely take them through a process. So as the person opens up to me, I get more and more data, information from them, and then I learn how to connect with them. And so as I get clearer on that over the session, then I know what to do, right? So this is the example of how I've broken up the chunks of time. 10-minute periods of talking, but then 10 minutes periods of listening, which is the quality being displayed in that moment. So I've really pulled that apart. And then as I explore the examples, I also found counter examples, which are signposts to take the high road, and this is a metaphor which built in my mind as I did it, where I value the higher road and the higher view and vision giving me certainty. Okay, so we do need to have counter examples where I wasn't seeking to understand. Maybe we all have moments when our ego just says, no, I'm not listening, I don't want to understand, I want to be heard myself, right? We all have that. But then those are signposts and let me know when I'm not doing it, so that if it's appropriate, it's time to shift back to understanding, especially if I'm coaching, right? So I want to make sure I'm very clear when I'm displaying that quality of understanding, but I'm very clear when I'm not, right? So it needs to be for a purpose. Maybe you're protecting yourself. So then when I add in other examples of understanding others, I think of reading books, right? So you can see how now I'm not just understanding others, I'm reading books to learn how to understand others, like Steve Andreas's book. I'm I'm receiving coaching from other people where I'm sorting out my own neurology, all of which helps me to understand others, right? So as I work on myself, I'm learning to understand others, because then when I'm working with them, I know what they're experiencing. So as I strengthen this with more examples, more notes I've written down, I also strengthen it being it being obvious if I'm doing the opposite. It is very, very clear. So what I'm trying to say there is, as I strengthen the quality inside myself, I know straight away if I'm not displaying it. If I'm not being understanding of others, if I've gone into my ego, it's like, oh yeah, okay, you're not there now. It's not like it's like a unconscious, it's very conscious to me in that moment, which is very good to know. Like, you're getting to know your nervous system. You're getting to know when you are something and when you're not. And you catch yourself, and it's an opportunity, if it's not appropriate, to catch yourself, pull back from it for a moment and consider, what's my outcome? So there's a lot of benefit to that. But then, of course, I went into the future and I realized I didn't have future examples of this. And in Steve's book, he talks about it's good to add some future in there. Okay, it's good to have a bit of future, a bit of the present, and a bit of the past. So I thought, okay, well, I had a look at it. I visualized my next coaching session with clients and imagined a full week of clients just in my mind's eye, and my routine, inside that session, the one where I explained, where I really concentrate for half an hour on them, so maybe spend 10 minutes explaining a theory, and then spend another 10 minutes listening intently, displaying the quality again, right? That's my routine. So that was really interesting to then put that into my database of future examples which haven't happened yet, but I know the routine from the past. See where it goes. So really interesting. And then my future studies, getting clear on helping self and clients. So that's another thing I was visualizing into the future. The Neuro-Linguistic Programming Practitioner course, which I'll be teaching in NLP Yes, Say Yes to Life, with my buddy and coaching buddy, Claire Chancellor, and together we'll be teaching that. So that's in this new year, which we will be doing, which you're all welcome to come and join and reach out. And so that NLP Yes to Life is me teaching other people. Well, if that's not learning about understanding other people, I don't know what is, right? That's in the future. So I put that into my database as well, reminded myself of that. And so we can also add in continuity over time as we go through, to see it consistently showing up in your self-concept. So that's how you can play with time, as I put my notes down, in your self-concept. You can play with, I'll get them back again. You can play with, to remind you, play with time, past, present, and future. That quality, you'll have lots of examples in the past, perhaps, if it's a strong one. But also think of them in the present moment, that you could bring them up in any context, in any moment. And then also think about them into the future. If you haven't got them there, plug them in there. Imagine a situation from the past happening in the future that you already have constructed in your experiences. And so when I explore these things, we've got past, present, and future. We have distribution in time, so lots of examples distributed over a period of time. We have chunk size of time, so for me it was half an hour with a client, then 10 minutes of me talking, then 10 minutes of understanding again, then another 10 minutes of talking, then another 10 minutes of understanding again, until I get really clear on how I'm going to help that client in my coaching session. So chunk size of time, then spreading. So where is it spread over time? And so you could spread it across your entire week. And people are very good at deleting detail. They could say, I've had a good day. What, the whole day was good? Or was only 5 minutes of it good, but that rattled around in your head for the rest of the day, and the rest of the day was average. You can't tell me the whole day was good, but you feel, you think, you see, you hear that the whole day was good. Similarly, I had a really bad year. Was the whole year bad? You see how we spread it over time? And so let's chunk it over the entire year. Well, 2021, let's say, was a terrible year. People think about COVID and lockdowns and all the things that went on. But were there good moments? Yes, but what we do is in our database, we delete those and just make a generalization. And we'll get into metaphors later. We'll get into symbols later. But I just thought this was a fascinating one to explore time and understand how you are using time with your self-concept. You can add examples into the future, you can add examples into the present moment, and you can start to master that quality. So go and try it for yourself. Those process elements, once again, past, present, and future, distribution in time, chunk size of time, and spreading over time. This is Matt Tait from Fork in the Road YouTube channel. As always, click on the little button in the bottom right hand corner to subscribe for free to the channel and get my videos on a regular basis. I'll see you next time.